coming to that time of year, which I like to start as soon as possible, which is getting ready for Christmas time. Jane Lockhart, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
And I think you're of the same mind as I am. You can't start decorating for Christmas too soon.
Absolutely.
No, it's absolutely beautiful. And I mean, what I'm looking at in front of me here pretty much says it all to me.
Yeah, sparkle, twinkle, color, everything that you could ever want around
Warmth.
the holiday season. Yeah.
I know. Wow. And this year, are we seeing any specific trends in Christmas decorating?
Definitely. Well, a shine is always a big issue at the time of year. So anything that's mirrored or glossy or has detail to it is going to do really well. For instance, this is a star here that's all mirrored edges. And it
holds a candle.
It holds a candle.
I love it.
It's good all through the year, but especially nice at Christmas time.
Sure thing. And I think you just hit on something I'm hoping will be key, and that's that you don't necessarily want to just buy things that go in a trunk at the end of December.
Yes, exactly. You want to try to use things throughout the year, and this is one of those very basic things, fruit in the colors that you're trying to do. And this year, in terms of color, we're seeing a lot more of that deeper, rich red color, more traditional in color, and then the use of fruits that you can buy at the supermarket. So
or even if you got artificial. I mean, I can see that in a summer or spring display on your table as well, and it has a completely different look.
That's right. That dark red is what really moves it in another direction. And this one is your more traditional red on this side, but on your side, it's more that bright, fun red.
That really,
So if you have kids or you're doing something that's a little
Santa
more
Claus red.
Yes, more family oriented, you could do things that are more in that direction of color where it's brighter. On the other hand, if you want that moodier, darker Christmas, a little bit Dickens Christmas, you know.
Which is big this year. The Jim Carrey movie's coming out.
Very
it's going to kind of be a move back that way.
That's right. More traditional, more comfort, homey. Then you want to be over on the darker, richer side with more natural elements added into it.
Speaking of natural elements, we're seeing a lot of greenery, a lot of pine cones. Now, when you're doing this, are you going for the real thing or are you looking for artificial? Which way do you go?
I like the real thing just because I think that it's, obviously we're very fortunate here in Canada that we grow a lot of the real thing.
Yes.
Whereas when you try to do stuff that's more exotic, we don't always have the availability. So Christmas time really works well for us. Now, we don't have pine cones this big.
But it's awesome.
It's
beautiful.
These are called sugar cones, and they are from the Carolinas, and they're much overgrown compared to what we produce. But I think this is one of those cases where, you know, with a smaller pine cone right here at the front, this is something that the kids could go out and collect with you on a walk in the forest, you know, something that they can participate in, I think is really important.
Oh, absolutely. And I see a lot of the boughs now. I know you can go and buy them, but you know, every year when I get a Christmas tree, I chop those bottom branches off, and those go a long way to decorating.
Exactly. So you just want to keep them, you want to keep them outside before you use them so they stay in the cool. And once they come in, they're usually okay for a couple weeks. You do have a fairly good time because there's a lot of wetness, particularly in cedar boughs like I have out here on the table.
And they bring that fresh smell.
They do. When we were opening this up, I was like, oh my gosh, smell how nice that is.
And it you know, it's funny how the sense of smell can bring memory too. Like
completely.
That comes in and you just get that whole feeling of remembering family over, remembering all the things that are associated with the season. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It is.
And you don't have to spend a ton of money to get that feeling.
Not at all. And you know, some of the things that people like to do is flower arranging. And you know, if you like to do that, it's not hard. You can go to the grocery store now. Some of the higher end ones do carry really interesting detailed pieces that you can add into your flowers that have a seasonal feel.
Those are fun.
Aren't they, with the berries, you know, and it's that nice limey green, you know, it's not a color that we always think of, but it looks so nice. Look at this one. It's like a little mini pineapple.
That's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
I love it.
I don't know if you know this, but the pineapple is actually the international sign of hospitality. So
it's
kind of a cool tie-in when it comes down to it.
It certainly is.
And adding in, again, sort of what looks like more of the silver in here, but then you have what looks like the greenery through the center. So a lot of really cool options.
Just a ton of interest in texture and shape.
Very much. And that's what's happening in design. You know, if you're sort of a design maven and really like to know what's coming, it is more about texture and mixing different, the same color but in different variations together. Yeah, very much so.
Now, Okay,
I was just going to show you this. If flower arranging is not your thing, this is beautiful. This, of course, works any time of year. It's a beautiful flower.
It's nature's flower arrangement.
That's right. Yeah, hydrangea, beautiful. But you can get, this is regular vase, and these little, they're like webbings that go across.
That's handy.
Yeah, instead of using tape, you see sometimes the florists will put
cool.
tape across. Yeah.
Where do you find something like this?
Lee Valley Hardware.
Wonderful. Now I see something here that I've been known to do is because I don't know, especially after Christmas every year, I see stuff on special.
Yeah.
And so I'll go and buy wreaths and things, and I don't have enough walls for these wreaths. This is a great idea.
Yeah, use it as a centerpiece. And again, this color is versatile enough. You could use it for any of your New Year celebrations, anything, any birthday you might have coming up. But it works very, very well in that we have it with our greenery and with a candle in it. And what's in the bottom there is, we used to use beads, glass beads, but now you can actually buy
little stars.
Little stars in
that's so cute.
In the light color, so they almost look like ice. You know, and they've got a little bit more sparkle, and they sort of fit the time period really nicely, I think.
Beautiful. That would make a gorgeous centerpiece.
Yeah.
Now you've also made use of ribbon. This is something I do at home, but I know a lot of the time when you go to the craft store, you see spools of this ribbon, and you're like,
what do I do with it?
What do I do with
it?
Yeah, it's pretty. What do I do with it?
Okay, so this is the kind that has just a little bit of wire on either side, so you can kind of crimp it into the space or the shape you want. I like to run that down the center of a table and just let it trail off on the end. And you just use your scissors and you cut it. You give it a nice little cut shape. I don't know if I have one. Oh, there's one where you have the nice cut tail, so that it just looks a little more professional. Instead of just snip straight across.
Sure. You know where I use this one? Almost exactly the same one actually is on my Christmas tree every year from the top, and I make the nice little spools, and it runs down all sides of the tree. And again, at the end of the season, I spool it back up because it's fine, and you reuse it the next year. So it's not a one-time outlay of cash.
That's right. It does help to make it more versatile if you can use it different times over and over again.
Sure. And now I'm thinking in terms of table covering as well. First thing when I walked in our studio today was the beautiful glittery tablecloth we have underneath. That's gorgeous.
So this is a great example of how retailers are responding to people's need to entertain, and whether it's for Christmas or any other celebration that they're having. What's nice about this piece is that it's got the sequins, and what girl doesn't like sequins at some point?
If it's got bling, I'm there.
We're all over it. And this one has a cording on the bottom, which gives it a heavy feel, so when it sits on the table, it actually sits and drops very nicely. So it gives you a little bit more of that crinkle on the bottom. If you prefer a more traditional tablecloth, right here I have them folded up under 1,000 things, but you can see that the stitching is just a nice little detail that as it hangs off the edge, you'll see that we have a colored one here that's printed in the red, and you can layer your tablecloths. You don't have to just do one.
And I mean, having a great tablecloth is great, but I'm a big fan of using the placemats as well, because I love to have a beautiful tablecloth and not ruin it.
Yes, well, we're all over that. So there's a series of placemats here. This one, which is again, you're white with the little insignias on it with the snowflake. There's all sorts of variations of that today. Some that are light and fun. There's others that are the wood or like a masonite surface that's painted that you can just wipe off. It just depends on how much you trust your family not to spit all over it, right?
Yeah, well, you know, but in the end, all that really matters is that the family's getting together and that you're enjoying it. This is beautiful.
I just wanted to show that and say Noel to you.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, this is just a decoration that could hang on a tree or lie on the table, or it could be a gift, a hostess gift.
Absolutely, or maybe just attached to a nice gift.
Exactly.
As a
little
decoration.
Thank you. Exactly.
Absolutely love it. And I guess now, I mean, we are getting toward the end of October, early November, and it's time to start pulling out what you have and then thinking about adding to it. Starting to plan how your home is going to look over the Christmas season. Because I have a feeling we're all doing a lot more in-home.
This year is a great time, absolutely, and it's a great way, like you said, to bring people together, and I think that's really what the spirit is about. It doesn't have to be brilliant, it just has to be something that reflects who you are, in whatever style that is. You know, things like this, things that you've used all year are earned, but with just natural elements added to it. It doesn't, like you say, have to be expensive. Just put together what you already own.
So if you're looking for more tips, we can always turn to you.
Yes.
You have a couple of ways we can always get a hold of you, see you online.
Yeah, absolutely. Email is great. We're also going to be at the Seasons Christmas Show.
Christmas
That's
Show.
Right.
And you must be excited about that. What an opportunity.
Very excited. It's great. I'll be there on the main stage doing some decorating, larger scale decorating, as well as some tabletop with Canadian Living. And so I'll be sneaking over and hopefully they'll have something baking and I'll be able to try out some of their food.
They tend to, don't
yes,
they? I love
do.
Canadian Living for that.
Yeah.
And we'd love to send some of our viewers to the show. Well, we don't send them all there, but maybe we want to help a couple of them get there.
Absolutely.
So we have some giveaways.
Great.
So people can go to our website, reallifeoncts.com, go to contests, click, and you could win. Also have a great prize package available from Canadian Living.
That's great.
Which will be wonderful. The Canadian Living Baking Book, which I use, I love.
Yeah.
And some other wonderful books from Canadian Living. So again, reallifeoncts.com. And the Seasons Christmas Show has a website.
Please do. Yeah, go to that. And I know that Karen Kirk, the design editor, is going to be there, and she's doing napkin folding, which everyone loves and struggles with. Tabletop decoration. We're going to talk about decorating your home, putting it together, how to make it feel seasonal. Don't break the budget, and you're right, don't put it away without using it some other time.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure having you in studio today. We'll see you at the Seasons Christmas Show.
I look forward to it.
And we'll be right back with more on Real